Jah Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jah Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Excellent jam, Suway.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do dede. Luta munulo jel moto nga andil mahalis. Hello?
Busel mo fine.
What?
Busel mo fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Busel mo fine? Wave. Your money is yours.
Welcome back to Coffee Time with Peter Gomez on Thursday, the 11th of September 2025. It's West Coast Radio, where we engage the voices shaping our political landscape. And today, we're joined by a man whose recent political journey has stirred conversation across the Gambia. Lawyer Lamin J. Darboe, a respected legal practitioner and longtime member of the United Democratic Party, stepped into the spotlight with his bid to become the party's flag bearer. Though the outcome didn't favor him, his candidacy sparked important dialogue about leadership, vision, and the future of party politics. Well, we're here, he and I, to unpack that experience, explore the lessons learned, and hear his thoughts on what comes next for himself, for the UDP, and for the country. Lamin, I'm avoiding calling you Lawyer Darboe, even though that's what you are, because otherwise they will think that it's the more popular Lawyer Darboe. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you.
How are you feeling now that, we know who the flag bearer is?
Well, the process went through the rules set down by the UDP. So obviously, whatever your views, you go with the consensus of the party. And that consensus happens to be that Senu Darboe is going to be the UDP's representative, the flag bearer as far as 2026 presidential elections are concerned. So we accept that outcome.
Mm-hmm. What motivated you to, seek the flag bearer position in the first place?
Well, the flag bearer position is just a process to the ultimate challenges facing the country. And I believe those challenges so enormous that you need somebody, the country needs somebody who has the ability to set up the governance infrastructure to take the Gambia from where it is to where it should be. After all these years of independence, governance has remained the biggest issue, the biggest problem for our republic. And that is where I come in. I believe in that area, people would say, well, you've never been a minister, you've never been a permanent secretary, you've never been this, you've never been that. But obviously, I've been involved in Gambian public affairs for, a very long time, commencing from the first Republican government of Sadauda Jawara. I was commenting on public issues from 1992. Major commentaries on where we were going, why the PPP government was going to fail, and it failed. So obviously, yes, I've been watching this space. There is no need to serve in government to be able to become the person who would put the country on a footing that it can be proud of. And that is making sure we have a government that is based on systems, not on personalities and individuals.
Mm-hmm. And what was the core message of your campaign, and how did you hope to distinguish yourself within the party?
Well, the core message of the campaign, obviously, there was nothing like campaign as such. We were invited to face a selection committee the vetting committee, they were the people who invited us, 9 people in the Gambia here at the UDP Bureau, Manjai, and 2 people in the diaspora. So I didn't know who those 2 people are, but 2 people, I was told by the panel here at Manjai, were also part of the process. So they asked us questions about leadership, about leadership, loyalty to the UDP and things like that. Loyalty to the UDP, I believe those were subjective questions. I did raise that from the onset because when you talk about loyalty, who judges whose loyalty and what would be the basis for saying someone is loyal and the other person is not loyal. But we answered those set questions by the panel at Manjai, and then from there they went to do consultations at the Grassroots, we were told, and that is called the verification process. So those were the 2 stage processes that ultimately led to the selection or the election of a Blackbriar yesterday.
And how would you describe that process? Well,
the interview process, I didn't attend the orders, but talking about mine, it was frank. Yeah, obviously. I answered the questions to the best of my understanding as to what is happening, what loyalty and things like that would mean, and yeah. So I did that. That process was scored. You were scored on those points. Obviously, I got...
Do you know how you did?
Yes, I got 65%. Husseinu, the leader, got 98%. Was I surprised? The gap is too big, obviously.
So you were surprised?
Yes, I was definitely surprised.
Well, he has more experience, hasn't he? In facing of panels like that, so he would know how to deal with them.
No, I wouldn't put it like that, Peter. I think on these matters we have to be more pragmatic. Okay,
let's be more pragmatic.
Yes,
then.
People would say, like you just said, he has more experience, this and that. But no, all of those were people who have been working with Husseinu over the years. You know, he probably, more likely than not, was responsible for them being where they are today. So would you say that was an objective outcome, 98%? When, I do have my doubts about that, obviously.
Okay.
Yes. It's the process. At the end of the day, I agreed to participate in the process, so you'll have to accept the outcome of the process. But I do not accept that kind of disparity.
So you would say the process needs reforming?
It needs reforming.
Okay,
yes.
All right. How did you connect with party delegates and supporters, at the Grassroots, the so-called base?
The so-called base.
Yeah.
Well, how did I connect? I was asked that question. Yes, at the interview.
Interesting.
Yes.
I wasn't there. Never faced a fight.
You are a journalist. So they brief you behind the scenes.
I didn't.
But Peter, yes.
I should say you started life out as a journalist, reporting on the TAL Commission, if you can remember.
Absolutely.
At Radio Gambia. As I was just coming in, you and Amadou Skatred were leaving.
Yes, that's right. I left for the Standard Bank and ultimately the Action Aid. Yeah, Amadou went to the United States. But that was it. We were asked, I said, well, for me, I'm not going to sit here and sell myself. Go to my local chapter in Gunjur and ask people. I was not an executive member, so I was not going around the country talking to people. But if you go to my local chapter, they would tell you what my contributions are. They said, no, you have to sell yourself. I said, no, go and ask my local chapter members, and they would be able to tell you. It's better to hear from third parties than from the person himself. Yeah. So, but I don't know how the process happened, because the connecting with the grassroots, the figures there are alarming. Out of 17,000 votes, Ousseynou scored more than 16,000. Now, Amadou Sane was a founding member of the UDP. So that effectively says he was not connecting with the grassroots. They don't know him. Bori Toure was not a founding member. He came to the UDP in 2017. Oh. Yes. So he was a fairly new member. Yeah.
And when did you come into the PP?
99.
The NPP.
1999.
The NPP, UDP. What's happening with me this week?
Yeah, 1999.
1999.
Yes. Yeah. But I don't need to defend myself. You just have to look at the connection that Amadou Sane had with the grassroots, and you will know there is a problem there. Ousseynou has been the face of the party for a very long time. So this aspect of the selection process needs to be looked at very, very carefully. It does not make sense that between all of the other candidates, we had just 1,000 votes to share among us. Yeah. Ousseynou got 16,000. 16,000 out of, in fact, was it 16? Yes. 16,800 plus. Yes. And Amadou Sane got 5,900.
Wow.
Yes. And he's been there from the beginning. Yeah. So that makes absolutely no sense.
They call him a UDP heavyweight. Yeah. You can't be a heavyweight and lose, the way he did.
In fact, none of us were able to, including the two finalists, Bori S. Toure and Amadou Sane, actually passed that aspect. So the rule said that even if one person became dominant, 3 names would have to go forward. That became an issue in there. Several people, including members of parliament, said it doesn't make any sense. We shouldn't go forward. Ousseynou established his dominance at the grassroots, and therefore Amadou and Bori shouldn't go ahead with Ousseynou to a final selection process. But ultimately, the selection committee and the executive settled for what the rule said. And so 3 of those names were forwarded.
And while these others were saying there was no point going further, given the dominance of Ousseynou, do you know how Ousseynou responded to those who were asking the other 2 to step back?
Well, they were not asking them to step back. What they were saying is that it makes no sense.
Okay, let's stop the process here.
Yeah, let's stop the process.
Do you know how Ousseynou responded to that?
Strangely enough, Ousseynou was not there on that day. Oh. Yes, he was not there. That was.
Why would that be strange? Did he have to be there?
Yes.
Oh, he had to be there?
Yes, we all have to be there. I mean, at least what I was used to in the United Kingdom, everybody who is contesting for leadership of a political party has to be at the selection grounds. So I believe in the interest of transparency, everybody should be there. We should be looking at each other. Yes, we should be able to judge the unstated emotions that are running through everybody's mind. Or we can guess those things, but we want to see your facial expressions, whether you have faith in the process or not. So I believe everybody should be there going forward. These are aspects that the executive needs to look at.
Looking back, is there anything you would have done differently, given the benefit of hindsight?
Yes. Well, in terms of the overall process or myself.
Your bid for the flag bearer position.
No, there is nothing I would have done differently. Yes, nothing.
You did all the right thing as far as you're concerned,
as far as
based
I was
on your
concerned.
experience of the way things happen in the UK.
Well, in other parts of the world, and based on my general understanding of fair democratic processes. Yes.
And what kind of support or resistance did you encounter, from within the party during this whole process?
Well, a lot of people contacted me to say, let's get the telephone numbers. My supporters would say, let's get the telephone numbers of the decision makers. I said, no, I'm not interested in that. They've seen the product before them. They will see the product before them. Let them make their decision based on what they saw. So I didn't lobby anybody, nobody. And I didn't ask anybody to lobby behind the scenes on my behalf. I wouldn't have done that under any
What would they have said to the decision makers? Not to, I mean, if you had given them the telephone number or numbers of the decision makers, what might have they said, to them?
Well, whatever they would have said, the decision makers know themselves. My record is very, very clear. I've been in the in the public space for quite a long time. So if you don't know those things, then I shouldn't bother with you, really.
And how do you interpret the outcome in terms of your political future?
Well, in terms of my political future, that's a little ambiguous, Peter. What do you mean?
Well, okay, you've lost this. Are you going to continue in the UDP? And if yes, are you going to continue to, seek the leadership of the party?
Well, all those are questions of the future. Let's say I'm in there.
We're trying to, have a peek now into the future of Lamin J. Darboe as a politician. Successful lawyer, no doubt about that. Great career, but as a politician.
Well, I'm in the party as of now. So that is the important thing. Yes.
You're not doing a talib just yet?
Well, I don't know whether...
You were never in the executive?
No, I was never in the executive.
Okay, so you don't have you don't hold a position that you want to give back.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, and that also was a question during the selection interview itself, the first phase of the interview. Why was I not a member of the executive? And some of the answers I gave, obviously, I wouldn't be able to repeat those here. But effectively, if you don't feel particularly welcome at a certain level of the party, then it would be difficult for you to go for an executive position. Don't ask me, Peter.
I will. I will. No. I will. At some point, you felt you were not welcome in the party? Welcome?
No, not welcome with open arms. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Not...
Yet you stayed from 1999 to 2000 and...
Yes, because I'm not there for anybody. I'm there for my belief in the party. So if I believe that I wouldn't be able to sit in the executive because of the difficulties in certain relationships, obviously, I wouldn't push myself. But there, of course, would have been interpreted as, the fact that we need people like you in the executive. That was what one of the panel members said. But you didn't come forward, means that you are not maybe committed as you would be. Then I gave my reasons as to why I was not in the executive and why I didn't vie for any executive positions. Yeah, that wouldn't change. To be in the executive really is neither here nor there for me. You are in these things for your own beliefs. If you are there for positions, probably I would have been in government by now. I wouldn't be, jostling for anything in the UDP.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. But, you can also see why they would ask. If you aspire to, national leadership, at least at, party level, you should be able to, show your leadership skills by getting into, the executive and helping strengthen, the organization and show that, when you are given a group of people, to lead, you will lead them, the right way, the proper way.
Well, I accept that as, a possible interpretation. But it came under the rubric of the question of commitment to the UDP. Yes. So I do not accept that you need to be in the executive to be committed to a party. Say, for example, in the 2020 Congress, I was on my way to the UK at the time for the Christmas vacation to visit family. Yes. So, but I contributed $10,000 to the UDP. If I'm not committed, I would not have done that. But according to the report released by Amadou Sane, the entire executive contributed $4,500 for the year. So, who is more committed to
the whole
party?
executive?
Yes, according to the report that
wow.
was released by Amadou Sane at the Congress. I got the report later.
Oh, wow.
So, how do you judge commitment to the party? Some of the biggest donors of the UDP are not in the executive. So, I don't believe I need to be in the executive.
What lessons do you think political parties should take from, competitive leadership, within their parties, like we've seen happen with the UDP?
Well, it's not an easy process. Yes, it is not an easy process.
So you would commend the UDP for going through it?
Well, I would commend the UDP for organizing this one. Mm-hmm. Yes, for organizing this one. But in 2021 also, I applied to be the flag bearer for the 2021 elections.
And what happened then?
I was not even invited to an interview. 4 of us applied. Only Usainu was probably interviewed, or it was just taken and given to him. I'm not aware of any of the other 3 candidates. One Abdou Darboe from Fonyi, somewhere in Fonyi, and Usainu something from Bakau, the Bakau area. Yeah. So we were not even invited. So these things are very contentious, obviously, because if you are within your circle, it's just like being the head of the family. And then one of your children come in to say, okay, I think, it's about time that I be the leader of this household. It's not taken, lightly, especially in an environment where our engagements are more cultural than democratic.
What role do you see yourself playing now in the party? This is just assuming that you will stay in the party.
Yes. Well, I'll have to advise myself about that since it was an issue that came
Will you
up.
stay in the UDP?
Well, I'm in the UDP.
Okay. Will you stay in the UDP?
I am in there.
You are there today. Will you be there tomorrow?
Well, the question is moot. I mean, we'll cross that bridge when anything different happens. But as of now, I'm in the UDP.
Okay. And while you are there, what role do you see yourself playing?
Well, as a member, contributing to my local chapter and see what I can do to enhance the overall image of the party at the level of the whole nation.
Okay. I'll just close out this first segment of our conversation with this question on unity.
Yeah.
How do you see the party, bringing back that united spirit, complete unity, given what has happened, in the lead up to the election?
But if you say complete unity, I'm not sure what you are driving at, because is complete unity possible anywhere? Is it?
Okay. Lamin Darboe wanted the flag bearer position. Lamin Darboe obviously knows he has support.
Yeah.
People who are, behind him. Yeah. The other 9 who, competed against Lawyer Darboe. So they will all have their supporters, each, probably saying, well, my candidate has not won. I'll have to reconsider my position in the party and so on. So Usainu Darboe obviously has a lot of work to do uniting the party.
Well, uniting a party or any entity, as a matter of fact, any entity would, of course, entail fairness in terms of conduct, in terms of processes. If you are unable to do that, then you are just imagining unity. It will never wholly happen. People will be disgruntled, whether they tell you or not. So the important thing really is to ensure fairness. Due process is the ultimate unifier of an organization like the UDP.